Welcome to Lucid Perspective, the podcast, episode 16. It's going to be a little different this time. Reese won't be with us on this podcast episode, but she will on the next episode 17. You already know who I am. I am Flacs. We're going to do things a little bit different. This is going to be a content marketing strategy episode. We're going to talk about why you should put yourself online, why it's important, especially in today's climate, getting yourself online, marketing yourself online, content strategy, content planning, things of that nature. We're going to jump right into this. It's just going to be me. I'm going to be giving my insights, my tips and tricks, things that I do, talk about Lucid Perspective, the company. For those that didn't know, we have the podcast, we have books and things, but we also have an actual marketing, content creation, branding agency called Lucid Perspective. You can check that out at lucidperspective.com. We do graphics, we do video, we do photography, we do website creation, we do marketing, we do branding, we do a lot of things. That company's been around almost 10 years now. So that's what this is. Episode 16, Flacs here. Let's get to it. But first things first, a little bit about me. For those who don't know, my name is Flacs. I've been doing videos, particularly. I started, as far as my creation talents, actually, I got to go further back than that. I started my creation career in Manhattan High School of Art and Design back in 1999. Of my first high school that I went to before I moved around a lot and went to different high schools. But basically, I've always been an artist. I've always been a creative. And so this is going back 25 years. But as far as my career, as far as being a creative professionally, I've been doing videos for a little over 10 years now. Obviously, I do graphic design. I've been doing websites for over 10 years now. My wife, she's the photographer. She does the photography side of the house. And as far as marketing and branding and all those things, that just came with naturally to what we had to do when we're doing videography, when we're doing websites. You kind of normally think about these things because when you're creating something and you're making a product, or you're creating something to be seen, to attract potential clients, to attract sales and things like that, you have to think about these things. You have to think about the psychology behind making a sale, behind getting somebody's attention, behind doing something creatively to be seen by somebody who you are hoping to attract their money, attract their service, attract their attention, sell them something, or have them buy something from you. So that's where branding, marketing, and all those things kind of tie into being a creative, right? A lot of times, most creatives, and I feel like I can speak on this because I've struggled with this myself, when you're a creative, you don't really tend to think too much on the business side of things. You just want to create and put out, and that could be fine. That could work for a very small portion of the creative world out there. But in order to really strive as a business, to really get seen and put yourself out there in an efficient way and appropriately, you have to think about things like branding, content strategy, and things like that. Otherwise, you can be the greatest artist in the world. You could be the dopest musician. You could be the dopest graphic artist. You could make the dopest websites. But if you don't know how to get it in front of people to be seen, you're going to fall the wayside of the starving artist. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard that. There's plenty of starving artists out there that are really dope at their craft. They really worked hard at their craft. But as far as getting in front of people, they're not doing so well. And we're here to fix that. This is what Lucid Perspective is about. We want to help people get their ideas, get their creations put out there in the world. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Hopefully from this video, you'll pick up some huge content creation tips, content strategy tips, some branding tips, things that can help you in your business. And again, this is not just for creatives. This is for anybody who has a business. It could be cutting grass. It could be painting. It could be accounting. It could be whatever. Marketing and branding your business fits every type of business out there. Again, it's not even about creatives particularly. If you have a business and you want to be seen, you have to get yourself in front of people, and you have to do it efficiently and appropriately. So that's what we're talking about. So after this video, hopefully you got some ideas. If you need any further help than what we're going to provide in this video, reach out to me, ask us for help. We have resources. We can help you out. All the contact information, all those things are going to be down in the description below. But that's what this video is about: content strategy, content planning, and branding. All right, first things first, content marketing. What is content marketing? Getting your content in front of people, getting it in front of your audience, getting it in front of their eyes so they can see you, they can see what your product is about, they can see what your service is about, they can see what you are about, right? It's not just about creating the content and sitting on it, and or creating the content and putting it out on one platform and that's it, right? There's an actual process to maintain, to keep pushing and putting your content out there to get in the eyes of the people, to get in front of your audience, to be seen. That's what content marketing is. Now, as far as the content is concerned, that could be any number of things. That could be video, that could be blogs, it could be articles, it could be music, it could be advertising, it could be anything that requires a creative process to create something that you will then want to take that thing and put it in front of people to be seen, to share about what your business is, or to talk about what you got going for you, or whatever service you're trying to provide. Most people are probably already accustomed to or familiar with advertising, right? Paying Google ads, paying Amazon ads, paying Facebook ads, paying TikTok, Instagram ads. You create the content, whether it's a video, picture, whatever, you post it on the platform. Most of those platforms have their own ad features where you can take that content that you posted, put some money behind it, and push it out to people, right? There's targeted ads, there's manual ads, there's there's ads where the platform decides who to send it to based on algorithms or that the platform deems necessary for your particular content. All you gotta do is send the money, give them the money, and they'll push it out. So there's that, and that's advertising. Most people are familiar with that. In many ways, it's the most relevant and the most popular way to market content is just throw ad money at it, market it that way, create the content, and then just push it. And that is a form of paid, right? That is paid marketing, right? If you don't have a big budget, if you don't have the funds, you probably can't participate in that too much. There are also other ways of content marketing that is less expensive, right? There's things such as collecting email addresses, right? You could have a form on your website or somewhere where you're collecting email addresses, and once you build up that email list, you can use that as an avenue to contact the people who signed up for your newsletter or provided you their email address. This is less costly than advertising or paying for advertising, but it takes a slower time to build up, especially if nobody's visiting your site. Even that is a daunting task because you're making it available, right? You'll have your email, put your email here for the newsletter or for information or for opting into things, but then you're asking them to do something, so you have to also persuade them to want to provide your email address. So it's less costly, but there's more work involved, and it takes a longer time for you to actually build up a decent email list to where when you send out notices or any type of newsletter, you can actually have a large number of people looking at your content or what you're pushing. The good news about creating an email list is these are people that actually opted in and provided you their email address. So what that basically says is they actually want to hear from you 9 times out of 10. They're excited about what you got going on. They either found you, they found your website, or they saw a post, they hit your website, and then they typed their own email address and provided it to you for you to reach back out to them. So that's a good sign, right? It means more than just paying for advertising and just blasting your video out to 1,000 people, right? Where you might get like maybe less than 10 or less than 5% of those people actually watch your ad, right? Because you're just sending it out and they don't know you from anywhere. But if somebody actually puts their email address and provides it for you, they really can't complain about getting emails from you, right? Because they opted in. So that's almost a guaranteed lead for you if you can build up an email list of potential clients, of potential customers, and they actually provide that for you. That's a good sign too. So that's a very brief overview of what content marketing is. Now we have content strategy, which is totally different. All right, content strategy is this strategy, the plan that you are using to create your actual content. So this is more focused on what type of content you're creating, such as if it's going to be video, is that best for your business? Pictures, is that best for your business? Blogs, news articles, what type of the content you're going to create. And then also you take the strategy and you combine that with the marketing, right? To hopefully drive sales, to drive clients, to drive potential. So for instance, a content strategy could be you create a video about your construction business and you're building a fence. Let's say you're installing a fence. You can set the tripod, have it point to an open field where you're going to build a fence. You guys build the fence, then you do a time-lapse video of the fence going up, right? That is thinking about strategy for your content, right? You want to promote your fence building business. What better way to do that than to show how you build your fences through a time lapse? You could put music behind it, you could put jokes behind it. It could be funny, it could be humorous and things like that. So that's how you would think about the strategy behind your content. And usually that has to deal with what your business is actually about, as far as what you're working on or what you're selling. If you have a book, let's say you want to sell a book, you can make a video, or you can have a salesperson make a video for you of what your book is about, the reasons why somebody should want to buy that book, the benefits of buying the book, the benefits, the before and after, who you are or what's going on before you buy the book, and who you can become after you buy the book, depending on what the book is about. So these are the ways you can strategize what your content should be about while you're promoting your business, your particular product or business. Another good example of content strategy is I recently saw a video where it looked like an official news report, right? So there was a robbery at some type of fast food place. They had a guy going with a gun, and supposedly he held up the people that work in the restaurant. But instead of stealing money, he started making himself a burger, right? And it was very humorous, and it grabs your attention because it seems like a news report of the normal stuff that we see all the time with robberies and things, but it actually turns into an ad for the restaurant, which is just a great strategy for content. Obviously, humorous and clever ads like that can really go far. They have the potential to go viral. You might not necessarily even have to put advertising behind a video like that. It'll kind of like just the virality of it will just share itself, which is great for your strategy. And that's also a great marketing tool. If you create something that has the potential to be viral, whether it's funny, whether it's controversial, it obviously it can't be bland, it can't be boring, it can't be just a normal thing. Normal videos and things like that don't really have virality, right? To go viral, you have to be unique, you have to be funny, you have to be controversial, you have to be different, right, for it to actually take off. So that's a prime example of a strategy. I'm sure these marketing guys, whenever they were sitting at the room or the advertising agency, thought of this great idea to make it seem like a news report of a robbery, and instead the guy made a burger because the burgers are so good. He stuck up the restaurant to make the burger and walk out with the burger instead of stealing money. So being unique like that can help with your strategy, right? It can help take off, and that's what we mean by strategy when we talk about content strategy. You want to think about the best way to get your message forward, whether it's humorous, whether it's controversial, whether it's unique in some kind of way. So what are some of the elements of a good content strategy? Well, one of the important things you want to do is have a goal, right? What is it you want to achieve with your content strategy? Do you want more business? Do you want to build up an account? Do you want more followers? Do you just want more views? Do you want more recognition for your business? Do you want just to advertise and then, put your name out there and bring clientele in? So once you define your goal, then you can devise the strategy to actually dive in and take care and hopefully devise a plan to meet that goal. The other important thing is to identify your audience. Who do you want to talk to? Who is your target? Is it women? Is it men? Is it a certain demographic? Is it local? Is it just in a city, or is it nationwide, or is it worldwide? Without a target audience, you won't have the necessary information to know what goal you're actually trying to achieve. So for instance, this is just prime examples. If you're a construction company, or not even, if you're a makeup company or a makeup artist, or you deal with things in beauty, your target audience probably isn't going to be mostly men, right? It's probably going to be mostly women. There's probably certain age demographics that you want to target. And so you have to keep those things in mind when you have your audience, you have your target audience, and your product or service or what you're trying to market has a niche or a certain demographic of people that you want to target. You don't want to set up a wider net, spread resources out trying to advertise to more people or more individuals than you need to if your actual target is a much narrower or more niche target. A common mistake with content creation and content strategy is not knowing your audience. So we just talked about knowing your audience, but for those companies and businesses out there that have no idea who their audience is or who they want to actually target, you make content for everybody, and that's you're casting a wide net, and that's one of the do's. Those are one of the do nots of content marketing and content strategy, is making broad content for broad audiences, especially if your particular business or service is in a particular niche or in a more narrow avenue. So for instance, if you own a ballerina studio, your clients are people interested in learning ballerina dancing. You're not going to market, you're not going to create an ad or something that is tied to a broader audience. You're probably going to target dancers, women, people in dance studios, people who have an interest in drama, theater, maybe, if that's a part of dancing. I'm not sure. I'm just talking off the top of my head. But again, you do want to know your audience. You don't want to just market blindly and broadly. You want to narrow down your target and narrow down your content to a specific niche of people and audience. Something else I want to talk about a little bit is online presence. Okay, now we're in 2025. The internet has been around as far as a public entity, public utility, for at least 30 years. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. For those who may not have websites yet or feel like they still don't need an online presence, sorry to say, you probably do. Not even probably. You definitely need an online presence if you want to stay relevant, especially with the way the current climate now, and where we're going in the future with AI and technology. It is imperative for any business to have an online presence. It amazes me even still to this day that there are some people that don't have websites, don't have social media accounts for their businesses, don't have a lot of online presence, and they may be floating for now, or they may be have word of mouth, and they may be able to pay the bills and things like that. But the way the world is going now, especially with the development of AI, where a lot of things is being done for you through these systems, it's almost imperative to get ahead of the game and start to build an online presence and get in front of those. Build your online presence, because the tools being made available now are only going to skyrocket your competitors. If you are not online, if you do not have a presence, your competitors will overcome you. They will surpass you by miles and leaps and bounds, because it's 2025. We're in a technological world. There's no chance of it slowing down. If you have any inkling, if you have any desire to be successful in the future, now and or in the future, you have to have an online presence. A couple of reasons why it would help you. First, credibility, right? In 2025, most of your clients and customers are looking for services for whatever it is. They go to the internet, they type in whatever business keyword into Google, whatever. It could be local, it could be nationwide, it could be wherever. They'll type in keywords to find businesses, and if you are not online, chances are they will never see you, right? Credibility. Websites for businesses means credibility. It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't have to be the next Twitter or X. It don't have to be Instagram. It doesn't have to be TikTok, right? A website, a simple business website, is just says what your business is, what you do, has a gallery, social pictures, maybe even some prices, details your services, what you sell, what you're offering, contact information, a contact form, an address if you have a physical spot, a phone number. Basic things, 1 or 2 page at the most. That's all you really need. It builds credibility, especially in the eyes of a potential client or customer. And to be honest, it doesn't cost much to put up a website. You could contact Lucid Perspective. We could do a pretty basic website for you with just your basic business information for a relatively easy, low price. There may be some maintenance, yearly maintenance for the domains and all that thing and all those things, but it doesn't cost a lot. And trust me, it actually helps you in the long run, because again, if you're searchable online, if you have an online presence, it gives you credibility for your business. Other things to keep in mind when you're posting your content: you have to post regularly, no matter what business it is. You may need a full-time person, a social media manager per se, especially if you want to grow accounts. Now, you can have the account and you can post periodically, once a week or something like that. If you just want to grab the name, grab the account, create it for now, that's perfectly fine. But if you ever want to grow your social media accounts to bring customers in, to bring clients and potential leads in, and you want those accounts to grow as well, you're going to have to put some work into them. So what I would suggest for that is perhaps hiring a part-time social media manager. This is somebody whose main job is to focus on building your social media accounts up. This could be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those things, Twitter, all the social media platforms. And what they do is post your content, post coupons, post stories, post completed jobs, post customer testimonials. They're basically constantly posting things that shine a positive light on your company, your business, your service, so your accounts could grow, so you can build potential clients. And also, if any of those videos go viral for whatever reason, it's more business for you. It definitely is a good look if you have a viral clip, and it could bring customers and leads to you, especially if what you're offering isn't isolated to being in the local area. So for instance, if you have a product that anybody can buy from anywhere in the world, and you have a viral clip, or you have a clip go viral, that's sales from anywhere in the world, in this country, any country, whatever the case have you. That's great for business. But if you have a local business and a clip goes viral, that's great too. You may not be able to take advantage of the virability, outside of your local area, but at least for your local area, that's good. That's great for business. You put your name on the map. Your business will be put on the map. You can at least guarantee some new clients, some new business coming to your door if you have a viral clip go viral, or if you have a clip go viral and you're just a local business, for instance, that only services a certain area. Here's a tip I would use for starting to build a social media account. So for instance, I would not make what I would do first, personally, get the account name for your business on every platform. So that's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, whichever ones are out there, because there's so many. At least get the name, grab the handle, grab the account, and so you have it. But I wouldn't try to focus on all of them at the same time unless you have a dedicated team or a dedicated social media manager to do that for you. If it's just you or you got a small team, get the accounts first so that at least you have them. Save the logins and the passwords so you don't forget them. But then choose one. Perhaps Facebook. If you're a local business, Facebook might be great, or Instagram. But choose one and focus building that one while you're working on your business and you're doing your other things. Just choose one to focus on and build. Right? This way you can at least do them one at a time, build them one at a time. Maybe make a goal for yourself, say get 100 followers on this one before I jump to the next one and start building that up. And also save your content on a computer, on a folder somewhere, because basically what you're going to be doing is re-uploading the same content to the other platforms. Now, if you really want to, you can, every time you make a post on one, you can do the same post on all the others. That's certainly fine. It can get overwhelming at times, especially if you have a lot of content, you're trying to maintain your consistency and post all the time. It can get very daunting. There are programs out there such as Opus Clip, which does help with posting to multiple platforms at the same time. We do have a video for that in our video library on this channel. So if you search Opus Clip on my channel, you can find a video for that where it shows how you can make a video and actually put it out to different platforms. But for the time being, if you're just a small company or one or two people or even one person, I would recommend just get the accounts, put them to the side, and then focus on one to build up at least to 100 followers before you move on to the next one and focus there. Another tip about chasing trends. Now, to build up accounts fast, you can chase trends and talk about or put out content related to current events and news and things like that. It's a slippery slope because it can get convoluted, and your account, instead of your account promoting your business or your service or your product, it can turn to a news feed, or it can turn to a current events, or it can morph into something that is not really the purpose of what you're creating your social media account for. So I would be wary of chasing trends to grow the account. Now, of course, there are plenty of people that create social media accounts just to follow trends and to report on news and things like that, and those accounts have their purpose. But if you have a business account, it's probably imperative to keep your account business related, or service related to what you got going on. Unless if there's something in the news that's related to your business or related to your service or product, it might be good to springboard off of that trend or off of that topic to help your account grow, right? But again, you want to probably keep your business account tailored to talking about topics related to your business and or your business alone. Because again, if you're following trends and you're just talking about a bunch of random things happening in the news with celebrities or politics or anything like that, the focus of your account can quickly change from your business to what you want to promote and building your business to a gossip account or a political account or a news account or something like that. And you probably don't want to do that, especially if you want to use your social media accounts strictly for promoting your business. Another very important tip is engage with the audience. Every comment, it's going to get hard. Every comment, every like, share, appreciate it. Thank the person if you can. If their page is not private, thank them, through DMs, or thank them in comments for sharing and liking all that. That could be a daunting task. You may have to have a part-time person, or you do it yourself, when you can. But always engage with the audience. Let them know that you appreciate them engaging with you. Again, whether they're liking, whether they're sharing, whether they're commenting, because this lets them know that you're a real person. You're engaging back with them, and they'll appreciate it, and that'll encourage them to continue to engage with you, which is good for the algorithm, which is good for reach, which is good for you in the long run as far as business and reaching potential new clients. Branding. Branding is a huge topic. I know a lot of people get confused about it, but branding is, most people have a problem understanding it, but we all know branding very well. So for instance, you have the Nike swoop, you have the McDonald's M, you have the Amazon smiley face. These are all things that we know, we see all the time. If we see them without the name, we know the company, we know what they're about, we know what they're offering. This is because these companies have branded themselves well. They've been doing it for years, obviously. They have advertising so they can stay in your face. But again, branding is one of those things where if you do branding well, it allows your company or your business to have a reputation that precedes itself out there in the world. It brings recognition. It brings hopefully quality, hopefully good customer service. And there can also be bad branding too. So for instance, you think of any company that has a bad review or has bad news or bad reputation, that news precedes it out there in the world. When you hear its name, you don't really want to do business with them. They have a bad reputation. Their branding is kind of damaged in that way. So branding is how the public in mass sees your company or sees your business after years of being in service or years of being in business. The reputation that it builds up. It could be color scheme, of course. It could be logos and all these things. That's all like kind of the basic parts of branding. But branding, the bigger parts of branding is how it makes people feel when they hear about your business, when they see it, when they see a commercial, when they see an ad, when they walk into your business, when they're doing business with you. Those are all major branding concepts, and it's at the core of it is really about the feelings that your customers or your clients get when they're doing business with you. So of course, for branding purposes, you want that to be positive, right? It could either be when they walk in your store, you have a certain type of music playing, you have certain type of smells, you have a certain type of look in the store. Maybe you have a lot of flowers or you have a lot of paintings, all those type of things. The feel, the what happens to the person when they walk in your environment or when they're doing business with you, that's really the core of what branding is. So, a lot of people think it's just logos and color schemes and all that, and it is that, but it's not. That's like the tier, that's like the bottom level of it. Branding is how my customers, how my clients should feel when they're speaking with me, when they're doing business with me, when they're walking in my establishment. That's basically what branding is, how it makes your customers feel when they're doing business with you, when they're talking about you, when someone else is talking about you. It's a feeling. And the last thing I'll say about being online is, and this works for personal brands as well as businesses. So when I say personal brands, yourself, like if you want to put your name out there, if you have a podcast or you're putting yourself out there as a person as opposed to a business, you want to be online. It's imperative, again, especially with today's climate with AI taking over labor jobs. The job markets are changing drastically. People are losing jobs to AI, and the simplicity of and the cost effectiveness of what the potential that AI has. I think it honestly, to be, if you ask me, I think it's imperative to create a personal brand for yourself online. Whether, it could be anything. It could be podcasting, it could be blogging, it could be a day in the life of yourself. Whatever it is, put yourself online. People are not worried. And the other thing is, don't worry about embarrassing yourself or looking cringe or just not feeling right, or if you feel like you don't know how to talk online and all these things, number one, if you continue to do it, you will get better. Number two, in the beginning stages of building an account and a personal brand, you don't have that many eyes on you anyway. It's only if you get to a certain level and you're consistent enough where you grow to that point, then you can worry about the branding of your personal brand, obviously. But in the beginning, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to sound funny. You're going to be cringe, and it's okay. Just keep going. You will get better. But again, with the current state of the job market and things happening with AI, I think it's imperative for everyone to put themselves online in some capacity, because I personally have a theory about the future of capitalism, I guess, where all these laborious jobs we used to have, or we have but are now currently losing, are going to be taken over by robotics, AI, and machinery, factories, and all these things. And so a lot of those jobs are going to disappear completely off the face of capitalism. There's going to be a void, and for the people that are online active now, who have personal brands, who have their businesses online, who have an online presence, those people are going to be better off than the people who just lose their jobs to AI and robotics, right? So you might want to get ahead of this now. Put yourself online. You can start a podcast. Pretty simple. I mean, we can do a video about how to create a podcast. We'll probably do a video about how to create a podcast at another time, in a future video. But create a podcast. Start posting. Tell your stories. TikTok is great for building personal brands. There's plenty of people making videos sitting in their car on their lunch break, walking their dog, just talking about anything. You could talk about current events, you could talk about politics, you could talk about whatever your heart's desire, but you have to put your face and you have to put yourself out there to build your personal brand. And again, this is just my personal advice to everyone out there watching this. The world is changing. AI and robotics are coming for all the laborious jobs, and even the non-laborious jobs. Even the jobs where, it's more thinking, like this AI stuff is doing the thinking for a lot of us now. So it's not even about just taking labor jobs. It's about management. It's about taking intellectual jobs. It's doing a lot of things right now. It's a little scary, but again, you can be fine if you get ahead of this now. Build your personal brand, put yourself online, build a persona around who you are. Everybody can find something interesting about themselves. It could be, like I said, it could be in a day in the life of. It could be your insights on politics, your personal opinions. I think we're getting to a point now where everybody's opinion, no matter where you stand on any type of issue, you're going to find your people. There are people that agree with you, and those are the people that are necessarily going to follow you and listen to you. So don't worry about upsetting people or pissing people off. I think the whole cancel culture thing is going away because it's just everybody's doing it now. So just do yourself a favor, get online, put yourself out there. You will not regret it, I promise you. So those are the breakdowns. Remember, Lucid Perspective, we do this. If you want to contact us for help with content planning or content strategy, please reach out in the description below. We have all the contact information. Reach out to us, lucidperspective.com, or look at the description for the contact information. We can definitely help you out there. If you appreciated this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Lucid Perspective channel. Again, mostly I know we talk about marriage and relationships, but we do have a company, Lucid Perspective. We do websites, we do graphics, we do videography, we do content strategy, content planning, and marketing and branding. And we can also do social media management for you. Just contact us if you want to. We can help you out there. Contact us if you want to talk about your strategy planning. Let us know if you have questions. If you have any particular questions about this topic, please put it in the comments. I guarantee we will get back to you. We will answer your questions and comments, and we may even shout you out and make a video about your particular comment or question. So please feel free to ask us any questions you have about content strategy, content planning, branding, marketing, and all those things. That's all for episode 16. I appreciate you guys. Please check out Lucid Perspective, the podcast with me and my wife, Sharice. We'll have episode 17 coming out soon. And again, if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, and all things. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. Thanks.